Hello, everybody. I would just like to share a little bit of my perspective on my dad, also known by many of you as the Big Dick, Mike, or Michael. My dad was that one person that if you walked in a room, you could name every single person and have some sort of crazy connection with them. You'd rather say some very random, funny story of them, or say how much you loved and cared for that person for their own and unique personality that he liked. My dad loved comics and Marvel, but when it came to the movie of those characters or groups, he could name every little detail and fact about that person and say what they did wrong. He's in the comics, so it's different. The five things my dad loved most was his family, baseball, Marvel/DC, comics, and friends. And the thing I loved most was him. We would go to amusement parks, and even if we didn't go on any rides, it would be one of my most joyful memories. Every night I had with my dad is one of my best memories that I can never forget. My dad was honestly the best person ever, and if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change anything about him or anything he did. When I say this, I'm probably speaking for everyone here. My dad was the best. Thank you.
Goodbye, Dad. I know that heaven gained another angel last Saturday. I just wish it wasn't at the expense of all the people here. I know you're watching over all of us right now, laughing at your four sons for wearing Lululemon, and smiling over all the people that came today to say their final goodbyes. I just wish they weren't so soon. Just wish I could have had one more comic book back, listen to you laugh one more time, and procrastinate my homework with you one last time, and had one last conversation. Dad, it's not goodbye, just to see you later.
First of all, Dad, not cool. It's a little too early. Second of all, I took your North Face sweatshirt and I have no intention of giving it back. For those of you who knew my dad, you knew he was never an emotional guy. So I am not about to stand up here and give a speech he wouldn't get a kick out of or warm his heart from listening to. So now, I'm going to proceed and say his favorite words, phrases, and things. Astrology, Marvel, baseball, Logan, Reese, Garrett, Quinn, quote, in the comics, end quote. And most importantly, his favorite, gosh, Reese, you are so tall, strong, and handsome and funny. Though my dad lacked his expression of emotion, you could tell that if he loved something, he loved the crud out of it. His passion for things he loved and loved to do impressed me beyond words. He impressed me by being the best father, teacher, and coach one could be. He impressed me by knowing any minute detail about any superhero ever or every person I have bumped into. And he extremely impressed me with his ongoing streak of saying, "Excuse my French," after any cuss word he said around. I guess now it's time for me to start wrapping it up and say my sorries and love yous before he gets bored and turns his attention to ESPN The Ocho. I'm sorry I didn't continue my baseball career. I'm sorry I didn't do so hot and won too many physics assignments. I'm sorry I spilled a milkshake that one time in your car. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you that I loved you enough. I love you, Dad, more than anything.
That's going to be tough to follow. Thank you all for being here. A special thanks to the Malvern Preparatory community for allowing us to honor Michael in a place that meant so much to him, and so too to us. The kindness, the support, and the grace that they've shown in our family, to our family, will not be forgotten. It's evident where many of Michael's finest qualities were developed. So on to Michael. I have no expectation whatsoever of getting through this hole. I will break down a lot, so I ask for your patience. Boys, break out the squeegee. The other kind. So here goes. Michael Joseph Hickey Jr. was born on January 25th, 1970 with green eyes. He was 5'10". He was a 5'10" male who lived at 3178 Booth Drive, Booth, Wynn. I know that because when I was 18, Mike gave me his license so I could use it as a fake ID. I literally had to memorize all that shit. Sorry, Father. Sorry, Father. Or else I couldn't get into the bars. So relatively speaking, at the time, we didn't look that much alike. I was still a pipsqueak at 18. But man, all I had to do was go up to the bouncer, give a little grin, confident nod, just like that, and I was in every time. So, you know, when I was a kid, I mean, I literally used to pretend I was him, right? It felt good. Incidentally, I couldn't tell you when Dan O'Brien's birthday is. Spring, maybe fall. I'll write it down. A few years before that, when I was a freshman at Archmere, I took physics. Mike's 5 years older than me, so he graduated Dickinson and was living back at home with Mom and Dad and I. These were the days before he and Peter and Doherty had moved into the palatial row home in Westchester. I could do an hour on that alone, but I digress. Anyway, I was kind of struggling with physics in those days, but I was lucky. I mean, what are the odds that you have your big brother, who you look up to, who's now living at home, and two, one who happens to be a physics dork? I asked him to pardon, by the way. There were so many lovely people who've been here, who've been in the physics department, and former students of his, so my apologies for that joke as well. So, you know, I asked him for help with homework, and this is how it went. I'm going to role play here a little bit, so bear with me. So me, Mike, can you help me with this problem? I have to calculate the velocity of an object in free fall. Him, let me see it. He grabs my notebook, scribbles 2 lines, and he says, the answer is V equals 30m divided by S. Then he'd explain it to me in a way I can understand it. I would say, whoa, that's awesome, but I can't just show the answer. That's not how we learned it. The teacher says I have to show all my work, and you know, in school, the work's 2 pages long. And he would say, well, your teacher must not be very good then. We solved it in 2 lines. See what he did there, though? He didn't solve it. We solved it in 2 lines. Confidence osmosis. He was really good at that. You know, that may seem like an unremarkable story, but it's an anecdote that's really been etched in my brain for forever because it was just like a classic Michael. It showcased several things. It showcased his incredible, what I would describe as often reckless intelligence. Selfishly, it demonstrated his love for me, always taking time to help me with my problem du jour, whether it was math or usually otherwise. And it spoke to his confidence in self and his ability to just transfer it to others. I was always amazed by that, and I cherish it. I do have dozens of other examples of why I looked up to Michael, but I'd actually rather spend some time talking about how Michael impacted others and how those people impacted him. To the students and players Michael taught and coached all those years, he cared about each and every one of you. Many of you were here last night, today, and I can't tell you how touching that has been to our family to hear the individual stories of how Michael was a part of your lives. It's really important for you to know that he cared, he truly cared, and it means a lot for us for you to be here today to have expressed the words you have over the past week. To Michael's closest friends over the years, to Pete, to Doc, Patrick, Paul, Winzo, Bob, Hank, Carson, Barney, Mole, many others. Thank you for helping bring out the best in Mike, as I like to think he brought out the best in you. And thank you for many of you for being here today. To Dan and Brian, you ain't Michael, but you ain't bad yourselves. I love and admire you two more than I've ever adequately expressed, and going forward, I intend to right that mistake. To Mom and Dad, my other heroes, thank you for how you always supported us and how you supported Michael in his time of greatest need. You your strength helped him rediscover his strength. What a gift. I can't imagine how hard this is, but you should take particular comfort in two things. One, that you love Michael unconditionally and literally did everything in your power to support him. And two, that he knew it. He loved you back, and he admired you, and he was beyond grateful for everything you did for him. Dad, he considered you his best friend. He told me so many times. Mom, he always talked about your strength, your toughness, both in how you raised four rambunctious boys and in the face of the physical pain you've experienced these last several years. Michael loved you both deeply. I love you. We all love you. And lastly, to Mike's boys. Mike's feelings for you can only be described as pure love, which in him distilled down to complete selflessness. To Quinn, my dear godson, one of the sweetest, kindest people I know. I, like you, am the youngest of four, and I know that that's one of the reasons we're so connected. And as the youngest, I know I, like you, held a special place in Michael's heart. Sure, we know he looked out for everybody, but he looked out for us just a little bit more. That's what makes him a little extra awesome to us. And this a little extra hard. Keep making it rain, my man. I'm going to be there to watch it. To Garrett, Michael's spirit animal. You made your dad laugh, and what a laugh. You in particular have your father's disposition. At once quiet, but vocal. Serious, but hilarious. Thoughtful, but quick-witted. Humble, but confident. Don't lose that last part. Hold on to that. Humility and confidence in oneself are key ingredients to lifelong success. And you have all those ingredients, Garrett. And I will always look up to you, literally and figuratively. Keep checking, my man. Therese, you're about to embark on an important time in your life, a time in your dad's life that made him a legend. A time to make lifelong friends, just as your father did, with so many of them having come a long way to honor him. Now, I'm not sure how often you'll get to show off those tremendous guns in the sunless, frigid winters of New York. But know that you have a vast host of family and friends that are going to be cheering you on, and the tailgates, especially against the lowly Middlebury men, are going to be epic. Keep pushing, meeting your challenges to help your sick father, okay? And to Logan, the apple of your dad's eye. As I know you've surely felt by now, being the oldest brother carries a special weight all its own. A weight describable only to those with shared experience. You have three brothers to look after, as your father always looked after us, but you're the man for the times. Because like your dad, you're a remarkable individual, loved and looked up to by many. He was so darn proud of you. And I know he was over the moon that you were able to live together these last several months. Cherish that as he did. You've been through a lot, Logan, but you've shown the same selflessness, strength, and resilience your father showed his whole life. As he would say, get paid, and you know the rest. Love you, buddy. In closing, if Michael's life story was a novel, it would be a real page-turner. A hero revered for his hilarious escapades, his flaws, his resilience, his bottomless well of confidence, his superpower for protecting others, and his unbreakable character in the face of struggle. That's Mike's story, and it's a good one. But the story's not over. These four boys, the best is yet to come. Thank you. Turn it over.